But first, how would you like an ongoing supply of free reports, helpful resources and unique cultural insights for meeting, dating and marrying a Vietnamese woman? Too easy. Just take a quick moment to subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll never miss out again.
Number 1, be okay with not being alone on your first date. What do I mean by that? Because many mature Vietnamese women who were born around Vietnam War time, they tend to be old-fashioned. Therefore, your first date, she would view it as more as a social function than a romantic one. And for that reason, she would tend to bring 1 or 2 great friends and or 1 or 2 or 3 family members along on her first date. And yes, you heard me right, because I did that before. I would not feel comfortable to go out by myself with, like if I know that person as a friend before, or we have met and interact as friends, as co-workers, etc., something like that. Or we have met a few times and we talk on the phone. At the time I was grown up, we talk on the phone, but now you can talk on social media and stuff like that and see each other's face. Then maybe, because now I live in the US, but still I still prefer, even I'm living in the US right now, but I'm still prefer to bring a good friend or my sister along with me. What does that indicate to you? It means that it's okay, that's just the way it is, so don't panic, okay? But instead of that, just focus on her, and then also pay attention to the people that she brings along. So ask them their name and ask them 1 or 2 things about each person when you guys going out on a date, okay? And like I just shared with you a moment ago, that when she bring along the couple other people with her, don't misunderstand that she is not interested. She's not interested in you, because if she would say no to you on the first place when you ask her to go on a date, right? But just remember that the courtship process is a slow one, and you need to take time, and over time you two will go out on your own like you would expect. Number 2, take her to places that are open to the public on your first date. Many mature Vietnamese women who were born right before, at the time, and within a few years after Vietnam War time, tend to be old-fashioned. Even if you offered to ask her where would she like you to take her on your first date, most of the time, I can tell you from my own experience, and I did that myself before, she probably won't be comfortable to tell you, or she probably won't tell you where exactly that she would prefer to go. It's just because it's just the way that she was taught when she grown up. It's not that she gives you a hard time or try to make you thinking. But here is my hint for you that can save you, is that pick some place that are open to the public, such as coffee shops, restaurants, etc. Don't take her to places it's so too private. That's not going to help you, especially for those mature Vietnamese women. That's a no-no. That's a minus. Okay. Number 3, pick up the tab even though there are more than 2 of you within the reason. As I mentioned earlier, she on your first date may bring company such as a female friend, a good friend, and or 1 or 2 family members. The idea of going Dutch, where each person pays for their own meal, is not common on the first date. So remember, take note on this, okay? Really important, tiny but really important tip here. Make sure you pick up the tab, even though I know there's more than 2 of you, because even for me, I'm such a modernized and westernized, mature Vietnamese woman, live in the US. I still appreciate it. My date, if on the first date, if he offered to pay for it or he pick up the tab, he pick up. I really appreciate it. And actually, we tend to, as a mature Vietnamese woman, we tend to think that, oh, he's pretty generous type of person, and we would love to have you around. So when you pick up the tab like this for the first date, you actually open a door for your the second, the third date, or even a long-term relationship. You never know, right? So don't do it wrong, okay? Because it can completely ruining the impression, a good impression that she has had with you. Yes, I know it. To a lot of you as a Western man, you probably say, I don't know why it doesn't make sense. But again, I can't emphasize enough that you must do this. And even I'm as an independent mature Vietnamese woman, I have my own job, my own business, etc. But I still really appreciate, and I have a really good feelings for the guy who asked me on the first day and paid for it. Okay, but there's one thing I want you to pay attention though. That you have to take note and implement it. But then this one, I want you to take note. Okay, on the other side, if she on the first date with you and she would bring along a group of friends, a big group of friends, then you have to watch out, because that may be a sign that she's not interested, she's not into you, or she not just like not into you, but also has want to make you lose face. So you better watch out. Or either that, or she may be the type of woman that you don't want to be with, because she tend to think that, oh, he's a Western guy, a Western man, he came from, he may have more money, so I can take advantage of him. So watch out for that. Number 4, dress up. The Vietnamese culture is fairly male dominated, and when a Vietnamese couple goes out, the man doesn't really have to dress up nicely if he doesn't feel like it. And the woman is expected to be okay with that, but even deep down, she is not really happy about it. And I would feel the same way. Yes. So to show her that you are serious about her and give her a signal that you understand her, you appreciate and honor her culture, avoid casual clothes and dress up a little. It will give you a lot of credit. It will impress her pretty much. All you need is just a dress shirt, dress shoes, a nice legs, and being well groomed. You don't need a suit or a tie, unless you're gonna take her to a really high-end or fancy place that they require, okay, that you have to wear the suit or a tie. Let me share with you a little tip, okay? Do not make the mistake by looking at how other men are dressed, especially if they are Vietnamese men. There's a double standard when it comes to public appearances. Even if a woman in a couple, she is sitting there in public and smiling, but deep down inside she's maybe unhappy, because the Vietnamese culture doesn't allow the woman, especially the mature Vietnamese woman generation, to express themselves openly. Number 5, avoid smoking and drinking heavily. Vietnamese women love to take care of their skin and their health. Therefore, they know that smoking and heavy drinking aren't not good for both. Even though smoking is still very common among Vietnamese men, even though the women don't like it. Also, there are still many places, such as restaurants, coffee shops, in Vietnam, that allow smoking more than in most Western countries. Therefore, the women tend to be a second-hand smoke a lot more. And also, heavily drinking. If you want to stand out, don't drink, don't smoke. And if you drink for social or to socialize, then that's okay. But don't get into heavy drinking, because many Vietnamese women, especially my generation, deep down inside, we very much dislike any man who heavily drinking. Why? Because they tend, they drink a lot and really heavy, they got drunk, and then they tend to have a lot of domestic violence happen. Unfortunately, in Vietnam, it's still more accepted than in Western countries. Therefore, I myself, and I can speak for majority of the Vietnamese women, especially the mature Vietnamese women, that we very, very much dislike heavy drinking, because it seems like majority of heavy drunker, they got drunk and they done the most crazy things you can think of. So I basically call it domestic violence. Yeah. And like I just shared, in Vietnam, it's still something that accepted. Even if the family members, sometimes your neighbors, they cannot really interfere or jump in and protect you and help you. I mean, the woman. You here mean that the Vietnamese woman, yeah, they tend to be okay. That's someone's business, and it's okay. That happen. That normal. That common. So they're not gonna jump in to protect you. They're not gonna, the Vietnamese woman. They're not gonna jump in and stop the guy. Most likely, okay. So be gentle to them. Be gentlemen and be decent men. Avoid smoking and drinking heavily if you can. Number 6, and it's also going to be the last one that I'm going to share with you in this video. Ask for her feedback. The Vietnamese women, especially the mature Vietnamese women, are dying to be heard. Yes, they are. If you wish to show that you value her, then ask her about her goal, her job, her dreams, her opinions, and be genuinely interested. You can also ask her about her country, her culture, her background, and ask her about her opinions, about her hobbies, what she likes, what she doesn't like, and so forth. She will be pretty pleasantly surprised that you're interested in her and getting to know her, getting to know where she comes from, what is her culture about, what she values, what's her opinion. And also at the same time, she feels like she has given a chance to express herself more openly. Number 7, be a gentleman. Majority of Vietnamese women are often treated as second-class citizens, and so they rarely receive any courteous and romantic gestures. Therefore, small things like offering to pick her up on the first date, opening the door for her, bringing her flower, complimenting, and similar gestures will bring you a lot of credit with her. Because, as I just mentioned, she rarely, if ever, gets those gestures in Vietnam toward a Vietnamese man. However, avoid close physical contact on your first date, okay? Especially, I have to say, even hugs, if she's not that modernized, if she has not working. For example, I have some friends around my age, but because they work with the foreigner in the foreigner company, and they have been interact with foreigners, have the country tours, etc. Then they understand the hug. Giving a hug is just a kind of a nice way and be friendly. But even so, majority of the mature Vietnamese women may tend to not having that opportunity. So even hugging, you need to be careful about it. You need to ask her, say, is it okay if I can give you a hug before we say goodbye? Okay, and to me, that's it. That's especially in public. And again, if she bring a company, then you don't want to do anything more than that in front of her friends or her family, because especially, and then also in public, because it means that you are too aggressive and you may have a hidden agenda behind those physical contacts. It's just easily for her to misunderstand your motivation, your motive. Okay, your motive, I should say, not motivation, your motive for doing that. So just remember, take time, be nice, be a gentleman. Okay. So if you follow my 7 tips that I just shared with you, and then the chemistry between you and her is good, there's a very good chance that you can ask her out for a second date. From there, then you can continue building the foundation for a long-term relationship. Okay, thanks for watching and thanks for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you on my next video.